Today's short video is going to be on movement screens. We're going to show the movement screens we utilize at Performance Chiropractic. We're going to give you 5 key movement screens of our 13s that we do for normal athletes. Of these 5, we're going to break down the postural assessment, the overhead squat, the glute bridge, prone hip extension, and a push-up. Each looking for flaws and mechanics and ways that you can improve athletic performance and maximize your elite potential. So the first part of our movement screen today, we're looking at just lateral postural alignment. So if we took an imaginary line from the top like a plumb line, drawing it through, straight through the ear, the shoulder, down to the lateral malleolus, this is what we're visualizing from the lateral perspective. First thing we're looking at is the contour of the neck. If they're anterior, posterior head carriage, most typically it's anterior head carriage, something of this sort. Then moving down to the shoulders, looking for the shoulders. The shoulders are set backwards or they roll forward. The big thing that most commonly we see today is more internal rotation of the shoulders. So more tight anterior, not as strong controlled posterior. Moving down a little bit lower, we're looking into the lumbar spine. We're looking for anterior and posterior sway. So most commonly with lower cross stuff, we see people that have the anterior pelvic tilt. So this ilium are here. If you had posterior pelvic tilt, which is less common, we see more of a tapping or a rolling underneath. So these are some common flaws we're looking for in our lateral movement screen, or our lateral postural screen. Our next movement screen is going to be the overhead squat. So we have PVC pipe here. Athlete is barefoot. I want his grip to be inside of his snatch grip, but outside of his normal clean grip. His foot position, he's going to be shoulder width apart. A little bit of external rotation is okay, with the foot flat on the ground. Next, I want you to, the bar is going to go over the top of the head. I want to lock out the elbows and wrists, lock in his core and everything here, and he's going to squat. Back up. So things we're looking for here. We're looking to see if the arms come forward, if the head goes forward, if they can't create extension in the thoracic spine. Looking at the hips, we're looking for sway from one side to the other as they go down the squat. If they're swaying from one side to the other, compensating one side. Also looking at the knee angle. We want to see if the knees are coming in, are they flaring out, common flaws. Then looking down at the ankle, do they get dorsiflexion? Do their toes come up, or do their heels come up off the ground? And if so, are they hyperpronating in order to achieve this motion? These are all common flaws we're looking for on the frontal view of the overhead squat. So now we have the lateral view of the overhead squat. Looking for similar flaws. Go ahead and squat down. So with these flaws, we're watching for that hip movement. Knee and ankle movement. Are their ankles unable to reach dorsiflexion, so their toes are coming off the ground? Are they getting to 90 degrees parallel to the floor? Now back up. Also with this overhead squat, we're looking to see if they get thoracic extension. If not, can they keep their arms back behind their head? There, with the head in neutral position. Can they keep it to where, or are their arms coming forward when they squat down because they can't get that thoracic extension that's needed? Next movement screen we're utilizing is the glute bridge. So the glute bridge, we want to make sure that the athlete's feet are shoulder width apart. Their heels are dug into the floor. They're pushing up at the hip and extending. So one common flaw, we're making sure that their first movement is not arching up the back. It's getting the heels to drive in, squeeze the butt tight, lift the hips up. Good. Trying to keep this in one solid plank while keeping abdominal core strength and pressure. The hip extension movement pattern, we're looking for a solid movement, mainly involving the hip, looking for underactive or trying to prevent overactive hamstrings. So the movement's going to be one solid plank, one motion, starting with the right leg first. Extend the hip. So we're looking to see if there's any glute contraction on either side, if the glutes are contracting before the movement occurs. We're looking to see how active the lumbar spine is to achieve this motion. We're looking for any kind of rotation or sway that moves over to extend the movement past what it needs to be. So overactive paraspinals. If needed, we can feel all muscles of the involved side. Seeing if we're getting some kind of contraction at the glute or the hamstrings first. Is the knee bending up? All kind of patterns we're looking for in the movement screen. The next movement screen is the push-up. We have our athlete in a push-up position. Foot distribution doesn't matter too much as long as it's waist width apart. Shoulders are the main part. You want to make sure that they're shoulder width apart, that the hands are in the correct position. You can change the elbow angle if you want to come at a more 45 degree or tucked in tight, getting that extra rotation of the shoulders, and we're going to have them lower slowly. So what we're looking for is the way the scapula functions. Right here we're seeing kissing of the scapula. So the scapula aren't staying mounted down to the thoracic cage. Come back up. What they're doing is they're kissing together and they're rising up a little bit. So the flaws that we're looking for is if the scapula does push up, the scapula kisses together and it's not staying locked in securely with the serratus anterior. Go ahead and push down. Again, seeing the same thing, overactive upper traps, and then engaging there. Lock these down and lower, so pull those down back that way. So he's well developed in that area, so you're going to still see that kissing, but it won't be quite the same. You can see that down in here he's activated some of that that lower trap, so he's getting more of that secured scapular position.
Today's video we looked at 5 of the 13 biomechanical screens that we do in our office. If you'd like to find out more on common dysfunctions and self-treatments, check out our webpage at www.paradigmdoc.com, like us on Facebook, or send us an email at performance@paradigmdoc.com.